Good evening, gang. Happy Tuesday night. And not often that I put a video out after 7 o'clock or something like that. But this one came out this evening, and I wanted to get you guys updated on it as quick as I could here. Story came out today. 117 employees file a lawsuit against a Texas hospital for mandating the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, thousands of you guys have, over the last month, have asked me for that email that was written by the attorneys to give to your employers, to give to your schools, to give to whoever. And I keep saying this is definitely a good thing, because guess what? The evidence that they are using in this lawsuit is the same evidence that is referenced in that in that letter. So, want you to take a look at this. But this is how goofy this is getting, okay? In the lawsuit, the employees, the 117, said, saying the vaccines are experimental, which we all know they are. They're not FDA approved for anything more than emergency use only. And these folks don't want to be, quote unquote, guinea pigs. Okay? I got to agree. All right? This is the interesting part, okay? Supposedly, and I'm going to put that word in here because you're getting two sides of it, and I'm just going to kind of read you this, but this will disgust you, all right? The CEO and president of Houston Methodist Hospital, who is being sued, obviously, the gentleman's name is Mark Boom, okay? And he allegedly directed employees to see the HR policy that outlines the consequences for not being compliant by June 7th, which includes suspension and eventually termination, okay? Now, at the top of the lawsuit, there was a quote from David Bernard, who's the CEO at one of the other Houston Methodist branches, okay? And I want to read this quote because this will make you sick, all right? Bernard purportedly told an employee that 100% vaccination is more important than your individual freedom. Every one of you is replaceable. If you don't like what you're doing, you can leave and we'll replace your spot. Now, his spokesperson is saying that the quote was misstated or disputed or whatever, saying that supposedly Bernard did not say that to a disgruntled employee. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I can't say yay or nay. I'm just telling you what was reported and what was denied. Now, I'm just going to say this real quick. Yeah, the media is a bunch of slime balls. We all know that, okay? But some things like this, you don't come up with a quote like that and, that there's not something in there that's true. Again, but I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm saying what was quoted and what was rebuked. And, how many times have we seen quotes that have come out rebuked and then all of a sudden a couple of days later it's like, but I have you here on tape. So we'll see how that one comes down, okay? But of course, the statement from their PR department is saying that Bernard has respect for all his employees. They're a values-based organization. We respect everybody, yada, 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 yada. I've heard that from every company I've worked for. I've worked for some really good ones. I've worked for some real crappy ones that, don't respect employees whatsoever, okay? But they all say they've got values, all right? So here's where it gets into it, what I was saying about the letter, okay? The lawsuit was filed by a Houston area attorney who told ABC News that, quote, the Houston Methodist mandate violates the Nuremberg Code of 1947, written after the fall of the Nazi regime in Germany. Sound familiar for all those of you guys that asked for the letter? For those of you that don't, email me. I'll happily send you a copy of it, okay? My email is in the description of every video, so you should be able to find it, okay? This is another quote, all right? And again, not something that's going to make anybody happy. To promote its business and increase profits at the expense of other healthcare providers and their employees' health, defendants advertise to the public that they require all employees and employed physicians to get a COVID-19 vaccine. More clearly, defendants' employees are being forced to serve as human guinea pigs to increase defendants' profits adding that it's a severe and blatant violation of Texas law and the Nuremberg Code, a set of research ethics principles relating to human experimentation. Exactly the same thing that is in that letter that I've been passing out to all you guys for a month, okay? Now, again, here's where you get into the problem. Hospitals are, whether you believe it or not, at least most of them, for-profit organizations, all right? You wonder why, you want an aspirin and it costs you $125? Well, it's got to pass through, 15 different people's hands, all of whom have to get paid. And then, of course, somebody's got to give that aspirin to you, and that's a medical procedure. So, now, you're getting billed for all of this, okay? But, of course, it's for-profit. Now, there are still some not-for-profit hospitals out there, okay? But this one, for example here, is a for-profit hospital. What is the purpose, somebody please tell me this, of requiring everybody to get the vaccine by a CEO? The last time I checked, even in a hospital system, okay, CEOs aren't physicians. And I would think if anybody had a right to say, maybe I don't want to, for whatever reason, a physician might be a pretty good person to make that call, okay? After all, they have the medical knowledge. They, all the different ingredients or whatever that we don't, we read them and they're this long, okay? Docs know what that is, okay? And they know what it reacts with, what it, who knows? They say, if you've got pre-existing conditions, well, gee, that's pretty wide, okay? I'm allergic to poison ivy. Is that a pre-existing condition? Somebody got diabetes, somebody's got heart disease, obesity, pick something, okay? What's considered a pre-existing condition? A physician would know that, okay? You and me, Joe Average, not so much. So we're making our decisions, if you will, based on risk reward. They're basing it on medical scientific knowledge. Ooh, follow the science? Gee, I think a doctor might be able to do that, okay? Now, if you don't think that these employees don't have more medical knowledge than most of us, I think we'd all be sadly mistaken. So it's very telling when a hospital staff comes up and says they're refusing it. Why would a doctor refuse it? Why would a nurse refuse it if they didn't know a little bit more than we did? The story didn't say that this was filed by the parking lot attendant, the janitor, and the front desk clerk, okay? This said 117 employees. Where they come from, okay, we don't know. Now, a few of you guys have asked me about the EEOC saying that it's, the EEOC said that employers can suggest or can mandate the jab. Big deal, okay? The EEOC is not a authority whatsoever in doing this, okay? Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They are not any sort of legal entity, and if you go into court and say, but the EEOC says this, they'll laugh you out, okay? Because the EEOC has no standing whatsoever to say anything of the sort. They can, the EEOC saying that employers can mandate it is no different than going to Disneyland and Mickey Mouse standing there and saying the employees can mandate it. It carries about the same weight. So just wanted to let you guys know that because a few people have asked. Sorry for the late one, guys. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.